Okay, this video is basically a potpourri of stuff. Here's one of the regenerative radios that has been scrapped out, and as you can see, there's a digital readout on top there, and I left the original tuning cap in here, and this is where the frequency stabilizer board is going to go. And this is all just to check to see if I can get my my favorite type of Franklin oscillator to stabilize within 1,000 hertz chunk. Okay, it seems like that's all they're good for, is that amount of range. So in other words, I could set it up to turn it on when I'm in 80 meters and then have another setting for 40 meters. But to get a stabilized oscillator for a wider range of frequencies, you're stuck with getting one of them DDS's. And over here I have the Charles Kitchen that didn't get taken apart, and I've been working with trying to measure the frequency that the Charles Kitchen is at. Now, there were guys saying years ago when I was reading, you can't measure a regenerative radio with a frequency counter. Well, I found a Charles Kitchen complete article, and at the end he shows how to do it. But this frequency counter seems to be having problems. Now, this frequency counter has 3 pots on the back that are adjustable, and none of them go right or left and stop. They go all the way around. So you got to actually look at them under an eye loop and see where you got it set. And I haven't been able to cut the what would you call it, the signal back, the intensity into this thing yet. I'm still working on it. You know, I got my loop over here and I got the thing, but this thing seems to be reading a second harmonic or third harmonic. It's getting overwhelmed, and I'm trying different things, but this is project sort of the stabilizers project number 1. Getting it to work with a regenerative. Okay, that's sort of a side project, but I want to tell you what I have been doing. And you say, well, what are you working on? I'm always working on a circuit or idea in my head. But what I've switched off to is to do organizational cleaning in the house and throw stuff out. And I told you one of the videos, 50 pounds of crap went out to the garbage. And it did look like the truck guy was taking notes in his book. Okay, because I think they got cameras. When they dump it into the truck, it's automatic dump, but I think they do watch what goes in there. Or the guy just decided to take a break at that point and write something down. But I have to get rid of some of the junk I own, okay? And they basically want you to pay to get rid of the stuff now. And that's one of the things I'm working on, is getting rid of the stuff until it costs me a lot of money to throw stuff out. And our hauler, or whatever you want to call him, our garbage guy, he's not cheap, you know, but they only want to take garbage that's cheap for them to dump. Okay, they're not worried about other things. There is a place that will take electronic stuff, but that's on the other side of town, and I need a car. I don't have a car, so I just throw it out in the garbage, or I put it out in front of the house with a free tag on it to get rid of some stuff. Well, anyway, working on the house, trying to clean it. But here's one of the funny things that you run into as being a guy, being single. And I'm cleaning the house and vacuuming, and I don't know about some of the rugs, whether I'll get a guy in to wash the rugs yet. I have to budget my money. But I had some kitchen curtains, and by the door where I go in and out, my grimy hands, you know, got one of the curtains a little dirty. So I took it out, and I know not to wash curtains unless you put it on the gentle cycle. And the curtains have been washed before, and I put it on the gentle, and you start, the wash machine starts, and then you come back to it, and it's going to be, they're either washed and okay, they're going to just fall apart. Well, they fell apart. Kitchen curtains are probably the cheapest crap ever made, unless you buy really expensive ones, and then they fade on you. So I've been down this road before. I owned a house before, and I put up expensive curtains, and you're able to wash them, but they fade. Okay, so that's why you buy the cheap ones, because they last basically, as if you figure the price point, the cheap ones last 1/3 as long, but they don't fade. They fall apart in the washing machine. But anyway, I needed curtains, and in order to move along, and I sat down at the computer and I looked real quick, and you have like a tier, you got swags, you got I'm going to forget tier, and then you got a valance, and you got swags. Well, anyway, I'm reading it over, then I'm measuring the curtain and the opening of the window, and I come down to the fact that I need 24-inch panels. So I go on Walmart, and I see they have them. And I said to myself, well, I got a Walmart a mile from here, through the back road. I have a shortcut. So I go over there, and I know I need 24-inch. And I go up to the woman, and I'm going towards the kitchen section of Walmart, and I say, are the kitchen curtains here? No. Woman was nasty to me. This is the first time I ever had anybody nasty to me. And it was a Sunday. It was early in the morning, and the store hadn't gotten crazy yet. And she was nasty, but she did walk me a little bit and then point. And I went over there, and there's a big section of curtains. And first of all, I'm looking for yellow. I'm looking for 24-inch panels. And there's no 24-inch panels. They're all 36. Now, if you put a 36 in a window that needs a 24, it's going to look really stupid, okay? I have one in one of my bedrooms because at the moment, I bought the curtain. I went with what the other person had in the window, and that was a mistake. So I went and looked I'm in Walmart, and I'm looking, there's no 24s. So I didn't go back to the woman. I went to a guy. I saw a guy. I said, yeah. I said, I washed my curtains and they fell apart. I said, I got to replace them. And he got his handheld unit out, and I told him what to key in. Kitchen curtains, 24-inch panels. And he keys it in. He says, they should be right here. And he takes me over. There's a marker on the end of the aisle. He says, they're right in here. And he's standing there. He goes, they're not here. I said, I know they're not. I'm looking. They're all 36s and 50-somethings, whatever the other sizes are. And then you got blackout curtains. You go in the next row, blackout curtains for, I guess, in the bedroom so you can sleep at night, but no 24. So I said to the guy, thanks a lot. I double checked. I never thought to look behind the 36s. Sometimes when somebody stocks, they put the 36s over the 24s. So anyway, I come home, and I ordered them online, and I had to pay $5.99 because for the 2 sets of curtains for the kitchen, it fell under the minimum order. They came here. I've already got the one window done. The window on the door is done. But it's so funny being a guy, and you have to memorize this crap that women just automatically know. But I did buy one curtain for the bedroom, and it looks stupid because I copied what the person that owned this house left on the window. I measured that one, and it's actually a 24 also panel. And they seem to be getting rarer. I guess the new windows in houses are bigger, and the 24s are starting to fall by the wayside. But I was able to get the curtains. But, you know, in between thinking about these electronic circuits, I have a house that I have to run by myself, and I don't have a car, but I have a Walmart nearby. I have all these discount stores, and I do have a Bed Bath & Beyond, which I could have probably gone up there. But when you go in as a guy, you know, you go in there, you know your measurements, you know your panel sizes, you know your swags, your tiers, your swag tier and valance, okay? And this is women's stuff. And you go in there and you get a woman, and they really don't know. It's like they don't use curtains anymore. And I use curtains just for the windows when people first come in the first floor. My living room's got blinds, and when I bought the house, the one guy told me, it's a custom window, blah, blah, blah. This other person put blinds in that were 6 inches too short. Instead of equalizing the blind in the middle of the window, he put it off to the side so he could use one of the clips that was still up in the window. So I said to myself, all right, let me measure the next size, go over to Walmart, and I bought the blind, and I brought it back. I'm thinking I'm going to have to modify it. And it dropped right in. But the person that owned the house before me, they replaced the blinds in every window of the house and put the wrong size in. And that made them have to put a clip further in, 6 inches. Instead of them centering it, he put it offside. It was a zoo. But I think back on how many crazy people I've been around in my lifetime, and it's not stopping anytime soon. But this kid this guy, he's like, they're not going to be here. He's standing there, he's just looking, he just knows because he's stocked. And he knows that, he just looks, there's no 24s, but they should be here. And I went after I left there, I went down by the kitchen section, and it's mostly pots and pans. There were no kitchen, what do we call them, curtains. I would put the curtains for the kitchen down in the kitchen section, but that's not how stores work. They put all the curtains together, and then you stand there, and the odds of getting yellow, because my kitchen is painted sunshine, which is yellow, and you know, the person says, well, you could use white. No, you can't. Okay? When somebody takes the commitment to paint a kitchen yellow, the only curtain that's going to look in there is like yellow, and then some wackadoodles use blue. It's a French thing. No, I didn't went there. Now, my kitchen that I have, someone started changing the light fixtures to blue. So what you do is you paint the room yellow, you put yellow blue lighting fixture switches in, and then 3 years later, it's totally outdated. Now, my kitchen is sunshine, which is, yeah, it's sort of like back in the days of burnt orange. And I read up on a lot of things, and that's why I always go after people that bullshit, because when you deal with blinds or any of that, sometimes the window needs a custom blind. But the guy next door to me, that owned the house next to me, that's hooked to me, told me there's special windows. It wasn't true. Okay? And then I looked, one day I'm talking to him, I look at the window, and I noticed he couldn't answer me about the screens or the blinds or the curtains. And I looked, and they were done. He didn't know what his house took because the wife did it. And he bullshitted me. And in the end, the wife kicked him out. It's pretty funny stuff. But rather than say, gee, I don't know, that's women's stuff, he bullshitted me. Oh, they're custom blinds. And I went to a custom blind place, and I was talking to the woman, and she says, I get $38 to $50 to hang a set of blinds. And I went, wow, I guess that's right. Yeah, it sounds about right. You know, hanging them up. And then and she says, and you have to buy the curtains for me. I went and looked, and the blinds. And I went and looked, and there's the cheapo, China-made Walmart blinds, and she wants $24 each for them. Like, I was very nice to her. I left. She went out of business like 2 months later. But as a guy, and I tell you, I love to hide in the electronic projects. But lately, I'm saying to myself, you know, when I die, I want people to come in here and say, gee, this was okay. You know, I don't want someone in here doing the hoarder dance. You know, if you ever watched the hoarder program, the person's hanging on to all this crap, and they actually hold on to garbage. You know, when I'm done with a project, you can't believe what goes in the garbage. Okay? Because if I hung on to every piece of wire I ever cut, things would be really messy in here. You know? But I just want to tell you, I am still working on stuff, and I have looked around, and you can use a frequency counter on a regenerative radio. I saw that, and I'm like, you know, maybe the regenerative puts out a very messed up signal, and it's rich in harmonics. It must mess up the frequency counter. But this frequency counter here, the one from eBay, let me show you the back of it. I got another one here. This is what it looks like, and let's see if I can see the 3 pots. There's one here. Here's the connector. This one's for frequency, and these 2 are the input signal level. There's 2 of them, and they spin totally around 360 degrees. So you're going to have to look at them and draw them on a piece of paper, and then move them and hope that you can reduce the signal if you have too much signal. Or if you don't have enough signal, you can turn them and get it to work. It's junk. These are junk. You know, and I keep, like I said, when I turn these on, sometimes they get 4 squares. It doesn't reset correctly. Sometimes when I turn it on, it erases the offset of 455. And this one here, I have it disconnected. I disconnected the LED backlighting on this model. And that was so I could turn the backlighting off to save the batteries. But there's so much going on here. And like I said, I waited. I got the shipment today of the curtains. And it's funny. The package for 2 sets of curtains was the size of a paperback novel. Okay, that's how bad. And it was out on the. It was really windy out there, and I had to keep checking because I didn't want it blowing away. It blew sort of a few feet away from the front steps, but I got the notice on my email that the curtains come. I come out as soon as I looked for the package. I knew it was going to be tiny, and then you open it up, and the curtains are like they took the air out of the package and everything to get it smaller. And yeah, I got the first set of curtains up, and they look correct. Okay. The other thing too is when on the package, there is no instructions. This is just a piece of a piece of cellophane with material in there. All right. And the way I do the curtains is I put the good side to the inside of the kitchen. I guess you could put the good side facing out, but who's going to see it? I think that's it. All right, that's it.